Humanity has always feared a single inevitable fact: mortality. We in this fear have sought to push beyond the limits of creation and become creator. In a time set far in our future, we were given a gift, only known to us as the Traveler. An entity of paracausal power would arrive in our solar system. This gift sparked an era of magnificent growth for humankind, a golden age in which advanced space travel, terraforming of inhospitable planets, and unlimited technological growth flourished. We pushed the bounds of what was once thought to be impossible. We pushed for greatness. We pushed for the stars with our gift. But there were some things that should have been left untouched, undisturbed. Limits that should not have been pushed. We pushed too far. Our story in this golden age will start with a man, a father, a grandfather, and a scientist, Clovis Bray I, a man dedicated purely to the pursuit of scientific knowledge, and a man who sought to defy mortality and become creator. Clovis would change how humanity saw itself, how we saw mortality. As he would approach the end of his life, he would work to secure his legacy. He would push to become immortal. He would seek to be creator. It would be on the moon of Earth where his journey would begin. And it would begin with an anomaly. In this golden age, an international research project would be commissioned. Clovis Bray would work closely with these international powers to investigate the disturbances that were being detected on the moon. This effort would be commissioned with the title of K1. The goal of the K1 research project was to find and study whatever was causing the disturbances, gather information and data, and transfer it to Clovis and his team for further study. In a record of K1's progress, we learn of the events that would unfold, and the revelation that would be made. This expedition would be led by Commander Kong Shuan, working with a team of highly trained excavation specialists, scientists, geologists, and medical professionals, along with an artificial intelligence program to act as the steward of the research effort, codenamed Firewall. And through the AI Firewall, we would have a record of the horrible events that would transpire. The team would receive their orders from Clovis himself, and they would dig. And at one of the many dig sites on the lunar surface that would come to be named Communion, they would find it, the anomaly, and without realizing it, Pandora's box would be opened. Commander, we found it. Where? Nearly 1,200 meters deep in Site 3. The readings were all over the charts like in the other dig sites, but the borer broke into a tunnel and... well, we almost hit it with the borer. The machine chewed through a pillar or something that held it up, and... It? So what is it? What does it look like? Show me the feed, the diagnostics, everything. I don't have any of that. What? That's why I'm here. Instruments failed the moment we broke through. The borer, too. Some sort of EMP, but your suit worked just fine. We checked and rechecked everything. So what is this thing? Nothing like what I expected. You have to see it for yourself. While no real description of this anomaly could be provided, this was seen as a moment of great excitement for the researchers. Things, however, would start to turn, and it is in the records of Firewall we would see the effects of this anomaly. Researchers who were exposed to this anomaly would start to suffer at first severe insomnia, then eventually vivid hallucinations of unknown entities and figures. These effects would be experienced by Commander Shuan as well, And yet, under the advisement of the research team's physician, who made a recommendation to try to get the project wrapped up, she would only go as far as to set up the rotation to prevent long-term exposure to the artifact by the researchers. This artifact, this anomaly, would be encapsulated, and a transceiver would run through the rocky crust of the moon to the artifact for examination. And after the dismissal of the team's lead physician and their return to Earth, Commander Shuan would remind her team the important nature of the duty that she felt they all had for humanity in the K1 project. And in the crew quarters, she would speak. This project has been difficult. No one could have predicted how hard it has been. Our health has suffered. Our families have suffered. We've lost friends. And every day you are here, each and every one of you is making a personal sacrifice. I know you understand that what we're learning is worth that sacrifice. But I also know that it's frustrating not to be certain that our work is making a difference. So I asked you all to come together today to tell you, you're not just making a difference. You are changing our stars. Not far from here, a man took the first steps onto the moon, saying it was one giant leap for mankind. Now, because of you, humanity is making its next giant leap. Today, in a message that will be relayed system-wide, Aeronautics of China is announcing a new phase of the Exodus project. The science we invented will be used to propel humanity beyond our solar system and to new worlds. Construction of the new colony ships has already begun. Some of you might want to join those missions. I know you all have the right stuff, but I hope you'll consider staying. Our work here is invaluable. We're here taking our small steps so humanity can take ever greater leaps. Thank you. Yet, this sense of duty, combined with the pressure of Clovis Bray, would eventually spell doom for the members of the K1 team. The events that unfold are unclear, but based on the record logs of Firewall, the final record of the K1 project paints a very disturbing picture. Damage assessment. Site 3, barricade holding. Firewall, let us in. Damage assessment. Site 3, barricade holding. Firewall, there are things out here. They're killing everyone. Open the door, you stupid machine. Threat assessment. Assessed. Result. Quota exceeded. Damage assessment. Site 3, barricade holding. Stop. They'll hear us. Shh, quiet. Firewall, we made a mistake. Yeah, we're sorry. What was that? Just let us in. If you let us in the vault, we might be able to hold out. Threat assessment assessed. Result. Quota exceeded. AI comm firewall negative. Shh. Firewall, lower your volume. AI comm firewall negative. Survival impossible. Shh. Impossible? What does it mean, impossible? AI comm firewall. No rescue. Shh. AI comm firewall. No escape. Shh. Quiet. AI comm firewall. No sustenance. Stop. Just stop. Shh. AI comm firewall. Psychological dangers include, but are not limited to, they're coming. AI comm firewall. Known psychosis. Recent psychological trauma. And existential collapse. They're almost here. We gotta go. Existential collapse? What does it mean? No time. Come on. AI comm firewall. The end of all things. Where many would see the need to cover up the K1 project as an utter and complete failure, Clovis saw success. Clovis looked at the lives that were lost on the moon as a step toward the ultimate end. An end that would secure not only his legacy, but the legacy of the name Bray. Clovis, with the research data, would see where he had to go next. He saw clarity. He saw Europa. Clovis, as his own life was waning, would take the research collected by K1, and he himself would oversee the discovery of something on the Jovian moon of Europa. It was what had been calling to him. On the ice-covered moon buried deep beneath its surface, Clovis's team would uncover what had been whispering to him. They would come face to face with what was to be known as clarity control. Like the anomaly on Earth's moon, this object was of unknown origin, and yet it spoke. Around this, Clovis would build the facility that would come to be known as the Deep Stone Crypt, a sprawling surface, subterranean, and orbital research hub for the engineering and development of the EXO program. The EXOs are, in the simplest terms, android-like machines in which the consciousness of a human could be uploaded and stored, almost similar to uploading a file to the cloud. This was Clovis's path to immortality. These would be his creation. He would be as God, and he would give life. The European research colony of Eventide would be established, and Clovis would build a team of some of the system's most brilliant minds to assist in the research and development, which would also include his son Olton and oldest granddaughter Elizabeth. But to bring life to his exos, Clovis needed something that could not be found in the confines of the Sol system. In a near-death moment, Clovis was granted a vision by clarity. He saw a massive gas giant in a system inhabited by a hive mind of nano-like creatures known simply as the Vex. He saw 2082 Volantis. It would be the thick, viscous radiolarian fluid in which the Vex resided in that would need to be harvested. A gateway to this system would be constructed by Clovis's engineers for this very purpose. In this moment of clarity, Clovis would derive the principle that would assist in transforming the radiolarian fluid into the lifeblood for the exos. Clovis would soon begin to test not only the uploading of the human consciousness into the machine, but also the effects of exposure to the radiolarian fluid on living human subjects. Test number 142, Radiolaria Fluid Injection, Trial 1. Presiding Clovis Bray, Dr. J. Wong, and Patient 01. How does it taste? Metallic, coarse, something else. Does it feel digestible? It feels nourishing. It's cool. I can feel it making its way through me. This is encouraging. No immediate effects. No, Wait. What is it? Talk to us. Feels like it's attacking my stomach. Sir, his heart rate is spiking and his pressure is dropping. No. He's losing fluid at an alarming rate. Exciting, isn't it? What's going to happen? He's going to die. That's what's going to happen. Fine. Send in the medic units. Not sure if it's safe. We don't know if it's contagious. Could go airborne. How else are we going to find out? We send in the medic units? Test number 167. Bonus appendages, Trial 8. Presiding, Clovis Bray, Dr. Chambers, Patient 103. We're confident we've isolated and solved the issue. I know success is possible. It's been shown to me. Yes, you mentioned the vision previously, sir. We believe that the transition was too jarring. This time, we fabricated some memories within the patient. This should lead them to believe that the extra arms are in fact part of who they are. Good. I don't want to have to watch another catastrophically expensive exo tear itself to pieces again. Let's bring the patient online, please. We've already completed the initial awakening seminar, so as not to waste your time. Did they see the tower? They did, sir. How are you feeling? Not great. Where am I? Please stand and explore the full range of your mobility. What do you want me to do? Raise your arms. All 4 of them seem functional. Don't celebrate yet, Doctor. They seem to be moving in tandem. Can they move each one independently? Please move each arm individually. I can't. What's not mine? What? Get them off! Off! Dr. Chambers, next time you run this test, I want you in the room with the patient. You understand? Yes, sir. These are only 2 of the many examples of the extreme measures that Clovis would go to bring his dream of immortality to life. What is most telling is Clovis does not react with horror or empathy. No, he pushes the limits even more. He sees the test subjects as just means and not in the end to better humanity. Clovis would finally achieve immortality. As the immortal overseer of the deep stone crypt, and at the cost of numerous human lives, destroyed either by the experiments or the efforts to prevent the Vex from breaching the portal. His own granddaughter would be sacrificed and would be made into an exo. Clovis would speak of this divine status as we would traverse the exterior platforms of the Morningstar orbital platform.
Artificial intelligence activated. Enjoying yourselves, intruders? It's worth knowing the cataclysmic damage you will be responsible for today. Do not fool yourselves. This facility is not simply the fruitless work of some pathetic scientist. This house was built by the genius Clovis Bray I himself. Within lies humanity's salvation. La Fontaine du Jouvence. Made possible by clarity control. Magnificent, wasn't it? An entity from beyond our own dimension. And the answer to humanity's eternal struggle. Mortality. Were it to fall into the wrong hands, humanity and the universe would be utterly doomed.
Guardian, down.
I have no reason to believe you are anything other than the wrong hand. You now face God-like judgment. May it extend eternally.
The story of Clovis Bray provides us Christians with a reminder that we cannot assume the role of God. As His creation, we are never meant to push the limits of His design. But more importantly, it reminds us of the cost that is paid when in our own rebellion against God, we forget how to treat one another with dignity. Clovis chose to conduct experiments that would cause great physical and psychological harm, pushed the K1 research team beyond moral limits, yet would show no remorse for the lives that were lost. To him, the ends had justified his means. Clovis sought to be one like God, but without mercy, compassion, or justice. As Christians, we must remember to put the love of God, of both God and our neighbor first, and always choose decisions that would respect all human dignity. More importantly, we must not fear our mortality. We are creatures made in the likeness of our God, and it is in our God where we find our hope. Our response to the last question of our baptismal covenant is clear in our duty. Our response always affirms, I will with God's help.